Hey everybody, it's Christy Wilson Delk coming to you today, Thursday, for Franchise in 5. I have been for the last several weeks talking about my book called Adventures in Franchise Ownership and the 4 pillars that I discuss in the book to strengthen, protect, and grow your business, whether it be a franchise or an independent business. I have gone through Pillar 1 and Pillar 2. And so now we are on Pillar 3. And Pillar 3 is called Money Metrics, How to Grow Your Business. So I start off in the introduction about metrics, talking about, it's kind of a fancy word, so no shame if you don't know exactly what it means. What metrics are referring to are numbers. The numbers that we use as business people to gauge our performance, to set our goals, to see if we're accomplishing the targets that we set in and out of our month and quarter and year. So the goal of this pillar is that you come up with metrics or numbers. They might be percentages, they might be actual dollar amounts, to help you determine if what you are doing is what you should be doing. And that sounds like a little bit of fancy speak, but of course you know me, and it's not. So I break down the pillar on metrics into 4 chapters. The first one is called Know Your Numbers. In each chapter, for those of you new to our Facebook Live post, I highlight a top performing franchisee. Not me, somebody in a different segment that practices the kind of things that we talk about in this book. So you get some great advice. So Know Your Numbers is chapter 10 and will be highlighted with a top performing franchisee. The second chapter, Control Expenses and Add Efficiencies. In other words, definitely you want to add to the top line, your revenue, but controlling expenses and add efficiencies help you add to the bottom line, and that's the money you get to put in your pocket. The third part of this pillar is Mind Your Metrics for Revenue Gold. And I talk about different ways that you can use the knowledge of knowing your numbers and setting your goals to mine for other opportunities to, again, add to your bottom line. And then chapter 13, one of my favorites, if you build it, they will come. But will they keep coming back? And that's about making sure that you have a competitive advantage. A competitive advantage is something that you have to adjust on an annual basis to make sure that what you're doing now and what you're doing next year are still going to keep you in the same place that you want to go or get you where you want to go. So this pillar is straight out of, any management class on how to control your business. And that has to do with measurements, performance, has to do with gauging that against things that you anticipate and don't anticipate, and various other things that you decide are important. But here's the thing I say in the introduction of the chapter. When you bought your franchise, you also bought the metrics that came with it. So first thing I want you to do, especially since we're thinking about the new year, or we should be, is get in touch with your franchise representative, quality assurance, or whomever, and let them know that you're working on developing some metrics to make you a better franchisee, and ask them what kind of numbers can they share. And as long as you explain why you're asking, I'm sure they'll be delighted to do that. The second part of that you can do to start getting ready for this very important pillar is to get some industry numbers. They don't necessarily have to be franchise numbers, but industry numbers on expenses, on payroll, on things like that, the things that you find are important to your business. So that's my challenge for you. Next week, I'm going might divert and talk about 5 things you can do to ensure your success in 2019. But we'll touch briefly on Ventures and Franchise Ownership. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And the book, of course, is available online or at your favorite local bookstore. Take care, everybody. I'll see you soon.